Hey guys, tonight is Christmas Eve and I want to make something for breakfast tonight. Tonight we're going to make gingerbread scones. They're perfect to make ahead of time, and I mean they're so easy you can make them in the morning as well. But we're going to make them tonight so they're ready for us first thing early in the morning when the kids wake us up and when they want to open presents, and we have something to eat with our coffee. And then the kids love them too. They love them all the time. They eat them like cookies. So let's get started. Gingerbread scones. Right now we need 2 cups of flour. And we're going to put our flour and our butter in a larger bowl because that's where we'll end up putting our wet ingredients. So let's get this opened up. I have a brand new bag of flour. We need 2 cups. Here's 1. And here's 2. Okay, perfect. And now we need 3 tablespoons of brown sugar, and I have golden brown sugar here. You can use light or dark. We're adding molasses, so that will give it that nice, like, molassesy taste. And brown sugar, really all it is sugar and molasses. Okay, so we need 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. 2, those were kind of rounded tablespoons, so this one could be a little smaller. Okay, and next we need our butter. So we need a 1/4 cup of butter. And I'm gonna cut this up. It's cold butter. I'm gonna cut this up in chunks, and then we're gonna mash it with, if you have a pastry cutter to get the little chunks of butter throughout the flour, that's great. But I do not. So let's grab our knife. I'm gonna do little chunks and then we'll mash it with a fork into our flour. Okay. Nice and cold. And then there's no mixing when you're making scones. You don't need a mixer for this recipe, which is good. All right. And then let me grab my fork. And let's see, I have my recipe written down over here so I don't forget any of the ingredients. Okay, so this is looking really good. We can also add our spices. So I need, and our leavening agents, I need 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. And I need a teaspoon of baking powder. We love in this house, actually I think I need 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Yes, 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And then we need, where's my ginger? We need some ginger. We love gingerbread flavored things in our house. Gingerbread cookies, gingerbread coffee, gingerbread scones, gingerbread everything. So we're gonna do some nutmeg in here. We'll do 1.5 teaspoons. And these spices, you can kind of play around with the combination that you like and the measurements that you like. I have pumpkin pie spice, but today I'm just gonna use my nutmeg and my cinnamon. We'll do 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. And then we'll do some cinnamon. I love cinnamon. We can do 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. There we go. Let's put our butter wrapper in the trash, and let's get everything combined again. Oh yes, we need a teaspoon of salt. All right, let's get everything combined. Our butter kind of mashed up with the dry ingredients. And again, a pastry cutter would be great with this. But I actually broke my pastry cutter the other day, and then when I went to go make these, I had forgotten. But that's okay, you can use your fork. Or if you have anything, be creative. If you have anything else that might work in your kitchen. But this is working just fine, actually. You just kind of want to break the butter down into smaller pieces, and you can use your fingers too. Okay, let me just make sure we have everything in here that we need, and we do. Okay, so I'm gonna use my fingers now. Kind of make like little pearls with the butter. I love, love, love scones. I was debating on making these scones or making gingerbread cookies. Like little round gingerbread cookies with eggnog icing. Because I'll eat those with coffee too. All right. That is good. Dust off my hands a little bit. Set that aside for a second. And next, we are going to add in our wet ingredients. So I need an egg. And I don't need the whole egg, I just need an egg yolk. So let's put an egg yolk in here. And to separate the yolk from the white, oopsie daisies, what am I doing? Where can I put this? We'll put this in here because I can use this egg white for something else. To separate the egg yolk and the egg white, you want to kind of toss the egg yolk back and forth between two shells until the white comes completely out and the white is out. And let me just make sure I didn't get any white in here. Okay, just a touch. Okay, so our egg yolk goes in here. We're gonna add molasses now. Molasses is really a key ingredient with your gingerbread, anything. So I'll set that aside. You can make, your omelets, your frittatas with your egg whites. Okie dokie. So let's see here. We need our 1 egg yolk, and then we need 1/3 cup of molasses. And I love molasses. And I love finding ways to utilize it as well. And we need our milk. So we need 1/3 cup of molasses and 1/4 cup of milk. And here is our 1/3 cup, and here is our molasses. I'm actually going to eyeball this slightly. I'm going to hold this. I do this all the time with things like honey and molasses, stuff that kind of sticks in your measuring cup. I'll just take my honey or my molasses, pour it in, and kind of eyeball it, like where it would be if I was pouring it in the cup. Because it sticks to the bottom of your spoon or your cup. A little more. Comes out very slow. All right, I think that's good. Smells good. I can smell it. It smells like molasses in here. Okay, what did I say? Let's see, 1/3 cup of molasses, and we need 1/4 cup of milk. And I have my whole milk right here. Make sure you use whole milk. And we're just going to kind of whisk that together as best as we can. The molasses is going to be a little sticky. But this is coming together nicely. Perfect. And it just looks like brown liquid. It's perfectly whisked. Everything combined very nicely. And now we'll take our dry ingredients over here. Let's clean up our board a little bit. You know I like my clean board. And make sure this looks really nice. I can feel the little pieces of butter, but it still is very floury, very dry mixture. These are gonna be so yummy. And the eggnog icing is really cool too. But this is what it looks like. It just looks like a bowl of flour. I'm gonna make a little well. Pour this in the middle. Get all of it out. Okay, put that in there too. And then we're just gonna kind of mix it with our hands. But before we do that, let's clean up our board a little bit because we are going to put some flour on our board because we need to knead it like 10 to 15 times. Just a little bit of flour just to keep it from sticking. That's all the flour's here for. Okay. I love having my sink right next to me. Okay, so let's get this all stirred up. And it's gonna seem dry, but that's the way it's supposed to be. Okay. And then I can go in and use my hands as well. I have my oven preheating at 400. It's at 400 right now. And these are going to bake for about 12 to 15 minutes. And then they'll be nice and warm, and then we'll ice them up with the eggnog icing. All right, I'm gonna go in and use my hands and kind of get it all together. Oh my gosh, I can't tell you how good this smells. It smells like gingerbread cookies are baking in the oven. Okay, it's pretty much a ball now. Get the stuff off the bottom, the little crumbs off the bottom, and then just kind of stick them back in our little ball, our big ball. Okay, now we're just gonna kind of knead this to get this all together. Put that in the sink. And see how it's like just a ball right now. Then we're going to cut it into 8 little triangles, or you can make them any shape that you want. But like I'm doing right now, just knead it 10, 12, 15 times. It looks really yummy. It smells really good. How many was that? 8? I love having these with coffee. It's like my favorite. I have been known to eat cookies in the morning with my coffee. I have a giant sweet tooth, especially coffees and pastry and ice cream and brownies. All right, this looks beautiful. Let me show you what it looks like. See? And now we're gonna make this into a nice round disc. Let's press it down. And you could use your rolling pin if you wanted to. Okay, we have our dough in a nice round disc here. We are going to cut it into 8 pieces. So first, the easiest way to do that when you're trying to divide your dough is cut it in half, and then we'll cut it in half again, and then in half this way, and then in half this way. So now we have these beautiful scones. And then if you wanted to make them smaller, go right ahead. But we're gonna do it like this. And let's bake these up. They're gonna take about 12 to 15 minutes. And again, like I said, we have our oven preheating. And well, it's not preheating, it's at 400 now. And we're gonna pop those in for about 12 or 15 minutes. And then I will meet you back here or at the stove actually, and we'll get our eggnog icing going, and it's gonna be awesome. Hey guys, so our gingerbread scones are done and they look amazing. They smell delicious, they're perfect. They were in the 400-degree oven for about 13 minutes, okay? So I'll show you what they look like. They're very, very hot right now, but I could pick this one up with my nails. They're nice and golden brown on the bottom and the top. You don't want them too overdone. So it will be between 12 and 15 minutes. And it's kind of hard to tell with gingerbread scones because they're already brown, but you'll be able to tell. They'll look done. They'll look golden brown at about 13 minutes, 12 or 13 minutes. So let's put this down and then we'll have them cool on my wire rack. I have a wire rack here. And we'll just have them cool on our wire rack while we make our delicious icing over at the stove. And that's also very, very easy to make. And I'll show you how we do that. It's gonna be awesome. It smells really yummy. I want this for dinner actually, but you know, it's dinner time actually. But they'll be perfect tomorrow. So I'll meet you over at the stove. Hey guys, so we're over at the stove and we're going to make our eggnog icing for our yummy, yummy, yummy gingerbread scones. It's gonna be awesome. It's super easy to make and I have all the ingredients ready to go. So let me get you down over at the stove. Okay, so this has been boiling for almost 3 minutes and you wanna make sure it doesn't stick to the bottom. Don't walk away from the stove and think it's gonna be okay if you walk away from the stove. You really wanna keep an eye on it. Whisk it, because the sugars will start to stick to the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to turn off the heat, add some vanilla. I can smell the vanilla. And then we are going to add it to our powdered sugar. And we're just gonna stir that up. Nice and hot, so it's dissolving the powdered sugar. And at first, look, you might see some lumps. Just keep stirring and it will go away. Okay, so I'm gonna continue to stir that and I will meet you back over at the counter and I'll show you how we get these all nice and iced. Okay guys, we're back here at the counter and I have my icing right here, my eggnog icing right here. I've been whisking it and it looks nice and smooth and yummy. And I have my scones here. They're on a wire rack over my sheet pan with some parchment paper underneath, just to keep the sheet pan clean. Okay, so let's get these all iced up. I wanna show you one and then I'm gonna do the rest. So let me put my whisk over here. And if this gets a little too solid, like if you let it sit for too long, just pop it in the microwave for 10 seconds at a time until it's a good consistency for you. Okay, so we'll just take our beautiful gingerbready scone, dip it in like so. Take the top and just kind of dip it in. Don't coat the bottom, just the top and the sides. Oh, this is gonna be awesome. There we go, and then we'll just let it sit there on the wire rack. So I'm gonna do the rest, and then I'll take a photo and I'll post the photo.